In today's video, I'm going to be discussing what raters are supposed to do when weighing evidence. When evidence is from a VA CMP examiner opposed to evidence from your treating physician. Also, I am going to share with you some examples of what I did as a former VA rater when I ran into this particular situation. Make sure you stick around. Okay, I know this video, this is going to be a real doozy for you, okay? So, raters, should they hold more weight to VA CMP examiners or your private examiner's evidence? And the evidence that we're going to use as an example today, again, is a DBQ and or Nexus statement. I just did, the previous video was on probative value. This is a follow-up video from that, okay? A lot of veterans have been saying, Dwayne, I went out, I got a private DBQ and Nexus statement if needed from my private treating physician, and the VA is still scheduling me for a CMP exam. Now, I'm going to be talking about two different things here. Reasonable doubt, or actually three. Probative value, reasonable doubt, and when the evidence is in equipoise, okay? And as always, I have some slides for you. Now, I'm going to go through this kind of slow, so do not be offended. I'm not trying to be condescending to anyone, but this is, I don't want to say it's a hot topic, but it's a sticky topic, okay? Because veterans see some of this verbiage in the rating decisions, and they don't understand it, and they don't go out to the M21 manual reference and look it up and find out exactly what the heck is this rater talking about, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you. Slide number one. Here in slide number one, this is the M21 manual reference, treating physicians, treatment background, and probative value. Now, in the previous video, you heard me talk about physicians, when the length of time of treatment, the qualifications, all that stuff. And here's that word again, probative value. So it says, VA does not apply the treating physician rule, whereby the evidence of a treating physician is generally entitled to more weight than evaluations made by consulting physicians or expert witnesses. However, a treating physician's familiarity with the history of a disability may increase the probative value of any medical evidence of opinion. Now, let me give you a quick example. I gave you one in the previous video. A cardiologist completes a heart DBQ for a diagnosis of ischemic heart disease. Been treating that veteran, let's say 5 years. However, a treating physician's familiarity with the history of a disability may increase the probative value of any medical evidence or opinion. So let's just say that a cardiologist completed the DBQ and had a Nexus statement added with it, whatever reason, right? And then the VA still goes out and get a CMP exam from their examiner that has never treated this particular veteran before, okay? Who holds more probative value with evidence? Which physician, okay? And there's a court case, okay? So make sure if you fall in this particular situation, if you feel you fall in this particular situation as I go through this video, make sure you write down that court case and go out and read it, okay? Slide number two. Questions to ask when weighing evidence. Now, they're not telling the rater to go out and ask somebody a question, but just ask themselves this question when they're going through and they're weighing evidence. Below are examples, and these are examples of questions that should be taken when weighing evidence. Bullet comment number one, did the evidence originate in service or in close proximity to the service, okay? Is the medical opinion supported by clinical data and review of medical records? Clinical data. Okay, sleep apnea is secondary to a mental condition. Most examiners, QTC, LHI, Optimum, VS services that I've been seeing veterans receive rating decisions for or CMP exams for, majority of them, 99.9% of the time, they are saying no. But private physicians are saying, yes, there is a connection. There's studies out there making that connection, okay? Supported by clinical data. That's what they're talking about. Review of medical records. Again, as I talked about in the previous video, reviewing of the claims file is important. Make sure you go out and get it. Now you can start to see where I've been previously saying, challenging veterans, get your claims folder, get your claims folder, get your claims folder. You see where it's coming in. It's going to be handy now. Clinical data and review of medical records. Let's keep going. How detailed, clear, and persuasive is the opinion? That doctor has to be on point when writing that rationale. That's what they're talking about. How detailed, clear, and persuasive is the opinion. The opinion is less likely than not, that's negative, or least as likely as not positive. But how do you back that up? With a strong rationale. For the people that are in my membership group, I got a surprise for you as it pertains to Nexus statements. I'm not going to say what it is, okay? So if you're not in the group membership, you won't know, all right? Now, is the opinion based on personal knowledge or on history provided by another person? That could be the physician. Also, it could be a lay statement from your wife or your husband or a battle buddy, okay? Something like that. So evidence now, opposed to years ago, is playing a huge factor in veterans' decisions, especially when it comes to some raters that, lack of training or may not be an advocate for veterans, okay? And here are 2 court cases, okay? They're giving you 2 that you can go out, write these down, and go out and read them, okay? Just to see if they fit the bill as pertaining to what you're doing with your claim. Slide number 3. Oh, excuse me. Handling evidence in Equipoise. If you don't know what Equipoise is, you need to go to the M21 manual reference and make sure you look it up, okay? Basically, when you have, let's just say your doctor provides a positive medical opinion, their doctor provides a negative medical opinion. Your doctor, DBQ and or Nexus statement is needed. If needed, is actionable and sufficient, and it fits everything that we've been talking about in this video. It's good to go. Now the evidence is in Equipoise, okay? And I'm gonna give you an example of what they should be doing when that happens, okay? So, as indicated, and that's the M21 manual reference, resolve reasonable doubt in favor of the claimant if procurable evidence after being weighed is found in approximate balance of equipoise. Okay? And we're going to go over that 38 CFR here in a minute. And there's another court case. So, you know what? I just thought about this. When the VA put these court cases in the M21 manual reference, they're giving you nuggets. But I guarantee you, a lot of veterans not clicking on it and taking the time and read it. They're giving you nuggets. Okay? And I'm pretty sure it's just a handful of veterans that know these court cases. They don't know them like memorizing them, but come to the M21 manual reference, look at them, and review them. Okay? Okay, moving right along, slide number 4. This is the 38 CFR for reasonable doubt. Okay? So what I have highlighted, the degree of disability or any other point, such doubt will be resolved in favor of the claimant. By reasonable doubt is meant one which exists because an approximate balance of positive and negative evidence which does not satisfactorily prove or disapprove the claim. I just gave you an example. Your examiner is qualified, been treating you, review your claims folder, other evidence, and completed an actionable and sufficient DBQ. The VA examiner does not treat you, okay, may not have looked at all your evidence, and they provided a negative opinion. What is that? Evidence is in equipoise, the reasonable doubt. Now, guess what you're arguing when you go to a high-level review if they use probative value, meaning, oh, we're going to use the negative opinion from my doctor and say it's probative value, okay? I hope you all caught that. So we went from that previous video. If you hadn't viewed it, make sure you go and look at it, okay? But think about this, what we're talking about in this video as well. Probative value, equipoise, reasonable doubt, okay? Now, you're gonna get a kick out of this last slide. I got something for you, and this is gonna be a huge nugget. I know it is. Okay, slide number 5, here we go. Evidence in equipoise. Actually, this is not a nugget from me. It is from me, but the VA is giving it to you, okay? So I'm just the messenger. In the following example, this is why it's a nugget. They're giving you an example, okay? There is no compelling justification to side with either expert, okay? So they're talking about their examiner and they're talking about your examiner. One is positive, one is negative. It's in equipoise, right? Evidence supportive of the claim includes the July 1991 opinion of Dr. T, who treated the veteran for several years prior to his death. The post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, had been the major factor in the veteran's suicide. Evidence against the claim includes the January 1992 opinion of the VA physician that the evidence did not point to PTSD as the actual cause of suicide, and that the veteran's suicide had occurred in the setting of an alcohol dependence, family breakdown, and depression. Okay? It's like us against them, your doctor against their doctor, okay? You got positive evidence and you have negative evidence. Think of the example that I'm sharing with you. Positive opinion from your doctor, actionable and sufficient, and negative opinion from their doctor. What they say you. What is the outcome? What the outcome should be? An award of service connection, that's what SC stands for PTSD is warranted based on the facts of this case as the evidentiary balance is in equipoise, positive and negative, okay? Got to remember that. I'm gonna leave that up just for a second, okay? If you don't understand it, run back through it. Think about the example I gave you, your actionable and sufficient DBQ, which is positive, right? And their DBQ from their doctor, which is negative, makes this evidence in equipoise. Now we're talking about maybe a probative value, okay? How do you weigh one against the other? And then a reasonable doubt under the 38 CFR that I showed you, okay? 38 CFR 3.102, okay? 38, I'm saying it again, 38 CFR 3.102. So there you have it. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because a lot of veterans are going out and getting DBQs completed. They're sending them in. They're actually more sufficient. They're sending them in. And the VA employees are still scheduling exams. And people say, oh, you have to go. You have to go. Ask yourself this question. Why are they meaning the VA putting the DBQs on the website and still scheduling an exam? It doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. And then you have some veterans that are submitting actual more sufficient DBQs, and some raters are using them. So why is it so different? Okay, that's for another video. I got a whole nother, my personal opinion on that. Okay, so veterans don't know better, they go to the exam. VA doctor gives a negative opinion. That last slide, the evidence is in equipoise. Now, they use probative value, and you have to do a high-level review. Fact of law, what are you using? Those court cases that I showed you. 38 CFR 3.102, you have to argue fact of law. That's what you're arguing on the high-level review. That's how you get back, by using this and being educated on those court cases that I just showed you, okay? So the VA gave you some nuggets. They even gave you an example. But it all starts with the veteran being educated, making sure that DBQ is actionable and sufficient. Do not forget that, because if that DBQ is not actionable and sufficient per VA guidelines, everything I talked about just goes out of the window, and you will not have a leg to stand on if you have to go to a high-level review. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.